In the headlines today, leader of Islamic movement in Nigeria, Sheikh Zakzaki, is released by Kaduna State High Court. 2 lives lost and 1,500 houses damaged in Katsina heavy downpour. And on the foreign scene, World Health Organization says undiagnosed and untreated hepatitis kill 124,000 Africans annually. And in sport, 16 new coronavirus cases linked to Olympics. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I'm Aisha Salihu. For more news, follow us across all of our social media platforms on YouTube, Facebook and Instagram. Now the news in detail. A high court in Kaduna State has upheld the case submission by a leader of Islamic movement in Nigeria, also known as Shiites, Sheikh Ibrahim el-Zakzaki and his wife. Justice Gideon Kurada granted the application on Wednesday in Kaduna State. Sheikh Zakzaki and his wife Zinat were earlier brought to the court amidst tight security by some officers of the Nigeria Correctional Services and other security operatives. He is standing trial for 8-count charges preferred against him by Kaduna State government after his followers clashed with the convoy of former Chief of Army Staff Tukur Buratai in December 2015. Abubakar Al-Zubair is a Kaduna-based legal practitioner and he shares legal opinion on the case that has lingered since 2015.
What happened today in Kaduna in the case of Sheikh Ibrahim al-Zakzaki is very, very heartening and a welcome development, not only to people who belong to his organization, but I think to everybody that cherishes the principles of justice, fairness and equity. You will recall that Sheikh al-Zakzaki was in detention since 2015. In the course of that detention, he has fought many battles, including going to the regional court, which is the ECOWAS court. And in all the battles he fought legally, he was vindicated. Even his fundamental human rights were enshrined by the Federal High Court in Abuja. And the federal government has not appealed against all of those decisions. Then he was arraigned in Kaduna for the case of the death of some 2 soldiers. After the trial, which the prosecution brought its witnesses, his lawyers made the submission of no case to answer, which the court upheld today in his ruling. This shows that most of these things that are happening to people like him are just persecution by the Nigerian state. And it ought not to be like that. Because people in authority are supposed to cherish the principles of justice. They are supposed to be fair to all citizens. And they are supposed to take the stance that nobody should, on account of his standing, whether his religion, whether his race, whether his tribe, or where he comes from, be victimized on account of those elements. So I think it is a very heartening decision today that he has been discharged. He will not go back home and look after himself. We are very, very happy. As a person, I can tell you that I'm very, very happy with the decision. And it has shown that Nigerian judiciary, at least in Kaduna State, has taken a stance that it cannot be emasculated by the government any longer. This is a victory for democracy. This is a victory for our democracy. This is a victory for the judiciary. This is a victory for all men and women of goodwill. And I think we should cherish this. It is a signal also to the Nigerian state that they should try to be just to everybody. Let them not take a stance where, because somebody has a divergent views from their own, that they can use their position in government to persecute him. I think everybody will be happy with this decision. We thank the judge who came to this conclusion. I also feel happy that the legal team which has done this are people from my profession. This is a good one, and I think I can tell you surely that I'm happy. What happened today in Kaduna?
Kaduna State Upper Sharia Court sitting in Kofar Kudu has adjourned the hearing in a blasphemy case instituted against a controversial cleric, Sheikh Abdul Jabbar Nasser, to August 18th for the prosecution counsel to obtain report from the police. Presiding Judge Saruki Yola, after hearing arguments from counsels to parties in the matter, adjourned the case to enable them prepare their defense.
We have cited the law to the court that there is no way you can arraign an individual before a court after taking his plea, that is his answers, where he denies. The law is that you must provide his defense counsel, team of his lawyers, all the witnesses you are going to use before the court. Not only the witnesses, their names and addresses, including the summary of what they are going to tell the court. And then all materials, whether it is video clip, whether it is audio, whether it is paper, whether it is statement of witnesses, everything by virtue of section 36 sub 6b of the Nigerian Constitution, which is the most pure law in this country. You cannot arraign anybody and start taking evidence, start taking witnesses without providing the defense counsel with all these materials. It is mandatory.
Sheikh Abdul Jabbar is standing trial following a blasphemous statement on the Prophet of Islam, which led to a heated debate between the Sheikh and some Islamic clerics in the state. Supreme Court on Wednesday upheld the re-election of Rotimi Akeredolu as governor of Ondo State. In the majority judgment delivered by Justice Emmanuel Agim, 4 of the 7-member panel dismissed the appeal by Eyitayo Jegede and his party, the People's Democratic Party, declaring that the appeal is incompetent. Justice Agim upheld an earlier judgment of the Court of Appeal that the petition filed by Jegede and his party at the Election Tribunal was incompetent due to failure to include Yobe Governor and Chairman of the Caretaker Committee of the APC, Mai Mala Buni, as a party. Kaduna State Emergency Management Agency says over 1,500 houses were affected by the heavy downpour experienced in 3 local government areas of the state. According to Umar Mohammed, the public relations officer of the agency, over 800 houses were affected in Faskari, 400 in Bindawa, and 300 in Sabua local government areas on Wednesday. He explained that in Bindawa local government area, the heavy rain, which lasted for almost 5 hours, caused the death of 2 persons, saying that the agency was already looking at how to assist the victims. World Health Organization says more than 124,000 Africans die each year as a result of undiagnosed and untreated hepatitis. Mashidiso Moeti, WHO Regional Director for Africa, said this in her message to commemorate World Health Hepatitis Day, aimed at increasing awareness of the disease under the theme Hepatitis Can't Wait. Ms. Moeti said the disease inflames the liver and can lead to liver cancer and cirrhosis, calling on all countries to rapidly improve access to services to prevent, diagnose, and treat the disease. Hepatitis is a silent epidemic with more than 90 million people living with the disease in Africa, representing 26% of the global total. The Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, has arrested a suspected bandit, Bello Galadima, in Sokoto State. Saleh Dada, the commandant of NSCDC in the state, told newsmen on Wednesday the suspect has been on the wanted list. Dada said the suspect was apprehended on Tuesday at his hideout in Aliyu Jodi in Sokoto metropolis. He explained that the suspect's arrest followed intelligence reports on his activities and movements of his group members. Dada commended the community for providing information on security challenges in their environment and assured them of maximum protection. The Imo State Police Command has arrested one Obumneke Gabriel from Isiala Mbano local government area of the state, suspected to be a member of the Eastern Security Network. According to a press release signed by the state's Police Public Relations Officer, Michael Abatam, the suspect was arrested along Oweri Umuahia Road while the men of the command were on stop-and-search operation. Items recovered from the suspect include a locally made double-barrel pistol loaded with 10 rounds of cartridges and 2 expended cartridges. The statement added that the investigation is ongoing, stating the command's determination to neutralize all terror groups in the state. The Nigerian Navy has handed over 10 pirates convicted by the Federal High Court Ikoyi for the hijack of a Chinese fishing vessel to the Nigerian Correctional Services, Kirikiri, Lagos State. A statement by the spokesman of the Nigerian Navy, Commodore Suleiman Dahun, said the convicts are Frank Abaka, Jude Baraga, Shina Alolo, Joshua Iwiki, David Akinsheye, Ahmed Toyin, Shobajo Sahid, Adeola Philip, Matthew Masi, and Bright Agbedei. The court had sentenced the pirates to 12 years imprisonment each with a fine of 1 million naira. Delivering his judgment, Justice Faji said the federal government proved beyond reasonable doubt that the pirates did hijack the vessel belonging to Hainan Fishing Company. You're watching Trust TV News Update, coming up after the break. Cryptocurrency enthusiasts excited as CBN set for digital currency launch. Do join us again.
My name is Samuel Dada.
Yakubu Isa, ana mana da jeje.
Aminu Musa.
A wannan harkar ce muke dan samun abinci, an muke taimaka mu wasu da yawa.
Looking for private jobs. Sometimes you get employed and the process of payment, you undergo some kind of stress.
Get latest updates on current topical issues and breaking news by downloading the Trust TV mobile app on your Android devices. Go online, click Google Play Store, search Trust TV, install the app, and get doses of unfiltered information on happenings all over the world in your pocket. Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back. You're still watching Trust TV News Updates. Let's take a look at some of our top stories. A high court in Kaduna State has upheld the case submission by leader of Islamic movements in Nigeria, Sheikh Ibrahim el-Zakzaki, and his wife. Kaduna State Emergency Management Agency says over 1,500 houses were affected by the heavy downpour experienced on Monday in 3 local government areas of the state. And World Health Organization says more than 124,000 Africans die each year as a result of undiagnosed and untreated hepatitis. Still in the news, the Consulate General of Nigeria in New York says it is making arrangements to enroll Nigerians within its jurisdiction for the National Identification Number in line with a directive from the federal government. The Consul General, Ambassador Lot Egopija, stated this at a hybrid town hall meeting held at Nigerian House in New York for Nigerian nationals within the jurisdiction. Egopija said the consulate had received a directive from the headquarters, Federal Ministry of Foreign Affairs, to enroll its nationals. Ministry of Foreign Affairs says Nigerian missions will momentarily commence delivering passports to its nationals through courier to eliminate the stress Nigerians go through to visit the missions to keep interview appointments. Permanent Secretary Ambassador Gabriel Aduda told the news agency of Nigeria in New York that the minister was already discussing with some courier companies to pilot the scheme. Aduda, while reacting to questions from a hybrid town hall meeting organized by the Consulate General of Nigeria in New York for nationals within its jurisdiction, assures Nigerians living in the U.S. of improved passport services. The federal government has given conditions states must meet to benefit from the $750 million International Development Association credit facility extended to the Nigerian government by the World Bank in 2022. The $750 million fund is tied to the State Fiscal Transparency, Accountability and Sustainability Program, which is designed to strengthen states as a way of improving their revenue base, increasing fiscal efficiency in public expenditure, and reducing debt overhang. To qualify for the facility in 2022, state governments are expected to first achieve disbursement-linked indicators in 2021. Nigeria's ambassador to Benin Republic, Tukur Buratai, has met with President Patrice Talon of Benin Republic. Buratai met with the Beninese president to present his letter of credence to him. The ambassador met with Talon amid the arrest of Yoruba Nation leader Sunday Adeyemo, popularly known as Sunday Igboho. And now to business news. The plan by Central Bank of Nigeria to launch its digital currency called e-Naira in October has elicited interest among cryptocurrency users in the country. Over 6,000 cryptocurrencies are in existence, and trading of cryptocurrency has gained a considerable acceptance among youth. Trust TV's Husseina Usman has the report.
Nigeria, one of the few countries with anti-cryptocurrency measures, is set to launch its digital currency, according to the CBN Governor, Godwin Emefiele. Some enthusiasts, though excited about the launch, have urged the Apex Bank to revisit the ban on cryptocurrency transactions.
Now that move is really a smart one, because now the central bank wants to launch its own crypto. It is an e-Naira, right? Its own crypto, no digital currency. So I think if it is the e-Naira, so it's going to be a stable coin, right? So it means it's going to be a stable coin, maybe Nigerian Naira something, or Nigerian Naira coin, or Nigerian Naira token, or whatever. I don't know how it's going to sound, but then that's what it's going to be. So if that is the case, right, I think it's a very smart move. Very, very smart move. The only things I want us to check is a couple of things. Now, is it that the central bank is going to be the one issuing it? They're only going to be the central body to issue out this crypto, or what? How are they going to do it? Is it possible to eliminate us, every other person from buying another cryptocurrency that is not that particular one? Because if they restrict Nigerians from using only that, it's against the core of cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency encourages anonymity. Cryptocurrency conceals the person that is using it. So it makes it decentralized. So if this thing is going to be handled by a body, then it has ruined the decentralized idea or the crux of it. So it's no longer decentralized, it's centralized.
Nigeria is the second largest cryptocurrency market in the world, accounting for crypto transactions worth over $566 million in the last 5 years, with several corporations and entities embracing the idea of a digital currency.
Personally, I don't think e-Naira is going to be effective. We will not learn how to manage our currencies, and then I think the country and people that are trading in cryptocurrency will take this as just another avenue, for mismanagement of funds. So I think people would basically first of all want to see how effective this currency is before they go into it.
As much as I like the idea, I also want them to know that Nigerians need to accept this thing. Those that are already in this space, we that know how these things work, we really need to accept it. So are there going to be policies in place that will make it flexible enough or still supports the real idea of cryptocurrency, which is the decentralization, right? Are there things that are going to support that? So for me, I think it's a good idea, and I really think we should buy the idea. Just that we have to also be careful, right? Let it not be that in the bid to create our own cryptocurrency and be part of the trend and make sure we don't lose out, we still lose out, right? Because it's almost impossible for you to control and stop us from buying another cryptocurrency. So is it going to be that we have to buy the Nigerian token, Naira token, before we can buy another cryptocurrency, which is impossible, right? We still buy other cryptocurrencies from across the world. There are platforms we use for that, and that works.
Emefiele said transactions will be cheaper and more efficient with the e-Naira.
So it's something that cannot be ignored. You see countries adopting it as their legal tender. You see companies adopting it as their legal tender. You see countries, regulating it and profiting from it, which is what I expected of Nigeria, not to place a ban on it. They saw change and they were afraid of it. When you see change, and you got to understand that change, it's constant. You study something new that comes to you and look at how it benefits you. That is what I expected. Not citing China. China is not against crypto coins. China is against mining of crypto coins, which consumes a lot of electricity. But that has even been solved because the new crypto projects that are upcoming now have found a way of going around that by mining it without it consuming electricity. So that's what I expected of the country Nigeria to do, to study it and look at how they will profit. South Africa is doing that successfully. A lot of African countries are doing that successfully. So I thought it was a wrong move, or politically motivated move, when they placed a ban on crypto. But thank God they are about to do a U-turn. In fact, they are coming up with their own project. So it's a good thing, and we hope that it brings an end to the ban they placed on other cryptocurrency, because if they continue that ban after the release of their own crypto coin, it will limit the capacity of their own crypto coins.
The International Monetary Fund has retained its projection for the global economic growth in 2021 at 6.9%. It, however, upgraded its projection for 2022 by 5 basis points to 4.9%. This represents a 3 basis point upgrade from the 2.3% earlier projected in April. The latest projections were contained in the July edition of the IMF's World Economic Outlook released on Tuesday.
The global economic recovery continues, but with a widening gap between advanced economies and many emerging market and developing economies. Our latest global growth forecast of 6% for this year is unchanged from the previous outlook, but the composition has changed. Now, close to 40% of the population in advanced economies has been fully vaccinated, compared with 11% in emerging market economies and a tiny fraction in low-income developing countries. Faster than expected vaccination rates and return to normalcy have led to upgrades, while renewed waves of COVID-19 cases in some countries, notably India, have led to downgrades. About 500 million has been announced in terms of vaccines being provided, but we still need to close that gap. And also we need to make sure that the deliveries happen now, as opposed to happening much later in the year or even into next year. This is probably the most urgent multilateral action that's needed.
And on the foreign scene, China rejects the proposal of World Health Organization on its second phase of COVID-19 origin tracing study. According to President of Wisdom Hong Kong, Dr. Chow Pak-chin, China has been thorough in finding out the origin of the virus.
The source of COVID in China has been done quite thoroughly, and China has been cooperating very well, giving all the data to the team of tracing. And their conclusion is saying that the likelihood, the chance of this virus coming from China is very little. And actually, we can see from other reports, the COVID disease actually affected other countries, other parts of the world, much earlier than China, say in the United States itself and also Italy. So they should actually trace the source of this COVID-19 in the United States and Italy, or maybe other.
And lastly, in sports news, Olympics organizers have registered 16 new coronavirus cases related to the 2020 Games in Tokyo on Wednesday. However, no Olympic athletes were among those affected. The latest numbers bring the total number of positive tests linked to the Olympics since July 1 to 169. A total of 17 athletes have been infected so far. American gymnast and four-time Olympic gold medalist Simone Biles have withdrawn from Thursday's individual all-round final in Tokyo. Biles, the most successful U.S. gymnast of all time, said she had to focus on her mental health after pulling out of the women's team final on Tuesday. Head of the U.S. Olympic team and fellow athletes praised Biles' decision to prioritize her mental well-being. The 24-year-old has reached all 5 individual finals in Tokyo. We've come to the end of News Update. Don't forget to follow us across all of our social media platforms for more news. I'm Aisha Salihu. Thanks for joining us.